A massive deregulatory initiative launched by the FCC. Former FCC Chair Ajit Pai tapped to lead CTIA. Canada expands spectrum use for 5G innovation. Crown Castle to divest its fiber segment. And broadband construction firm Trueline Infrastructure closes its doors. Those stories and more on This Week in the Broadband Universe. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Craig Corbin. FCC Chairman Brendan Carr has announced a sweeping deregulatory initiative. A new docket with the title NRA Delete, Delete, Delete is seeking comment on every rule, regulation, or guidance document. The review could even affect broadcast ownership caps, although the announcement did not address whether certain rules, such as broadcast ownership caps, can be completely eliminated by the Commission without congressional action. Much more to follow on this story. The FCC's tentative March 27th open meeting agenda includes exploring alternatives to the global positioning system regarding navigation and timing technologies, reliability, interoperability, and accessibility of next-gen 911 networks will also be discussed, as will a restricted adjudicatory matter from the Media Bureau. Democrats on Capitol Hill have introduced legislation to prohibit the Federal Communications Commission from revoking broadcast licenses based on viewpoints aired on their stations. The Broadcast Freedom and Independence Act states that the FCC is an independent agency and must not execute politically motivated attacks against licensees. The bill was introduced by Senator Ben Ray Lujan of New Mexico. He's a ranking member of the Commerce Subcommittee on Telecommunications and Media, along with Senators Jackie Rosen of Nevada and Ed Markey of Massachusetts. Companion legislation has been introduced in the House by Representatives Doris Matsui and Nanette Berrigan, both members of the California House delegation. Beginning April 1st, former FCC Chair Ajit Pai will begin serving as President and CEO of CTIA, replacing Meredith Atwell-Baker, who retired this past December. CTIA, the Wireless Association Political Action Committee, supports candidates for federal office who are wireless leaders. As CEO, Pai will be tasked with continuing CTIA's quest to make more spectrum available for the commercial wireless industry. And speaking of spectrum, Canada providing new initiatives to release 5G millimeter wave spectrum for cutting-edge 5G applications. The goal to enhance network performance, encourage innovation, and drive productivity across a number of sectors. According to Canadian Minister of Innovation, Science and Industry, François-Philippe Champagne, the allocated spectrum auction will follow a public consultation process. Millimeter wave spectrum is a high-frequency band capable of transmitting large volumes of data over short distances. It's considered key to supporting fixed wireless access for homes in rural and remote regions. Qualcomm Technologies is acquiring U.S.-based Edge Impulse, which makes miniaturized machine learning tools for microcontrollers, or MCUs, and resource-constrained IoT modules. The company has introduced a new IoT product brand called DragonWing. Last year, Qualcomm acquired the LTE portfolio of France-based IoT specialist Sequans. Crown Castle selling its fiber solutions segment to Zio Group Holdings. The $8.5 billion deal expected to close during the first half of 2026. And part of that is also the plans to sell the small cell portion of the business to EQT Active Core Infrastructure. Crown Castle began a strategic review of its fiber business back in 2023. It will now focus on U.S. tower operations. Elsewhere, broadband construction company Trueline Infrastructure Solutions is now out of business. Trueline's approximately 300 employees were terminated via email last week. The company is owned by private equity firm Grain Management, a well-known telecom investor. Trueline was formed in 2023 with a combination of Atlantic Engineering Group, along with Young's Communications and Fiber Optic Services. The original focus, fiber to the home and middle mile construction, as well as fiber connectivity to data centers. Number of high-profile AI infrastructure sector deals so far this year. Among them, AI cloud provider CoreWeave securing an $11.9 billion deal with OpenAI, Chinese tech giant Alibaba, announcing their $52.4 billion investment in AI and cloud computing. Then you got French telecom group Iliad. They've committed more than $3 billion to AI-focused infrastructure, and that's focusing on data centers and computing power. Microsoft has plans to invest $80 billion in data centers tailored for AI workloads during fiscal 2025. Roughly half of that $80 billion will be invested here in the United States. And finally, robocall volume was down 6% during February as compared with January this year, but that's only because February was 3 days shorter. Nationwide, consumers were pestered by 4.4 billion robocalls, based on measurements by the U-Mail Robocall Index. Now, the top 10 area codes that were most affected, 3 of them were in Georgia. The top 5, Houston's 832 area code, followed by Atlanta's 404. Numbers 3 through 5, you've got Columbia, South Carolina's 803 area code, the 214 in Dallas, and good old 678 area code in Atlanta. And I can personally attest to that one. Well, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on This Week in the Broadband Universe.